Yeah. Shout out to the first book of 2026, man. The Moment Demands by Jason Williams. Go ahead and set my timer right quick. A little 15 minutes. Hold up, 15 minutes. All right, let's get it. Chapter 1, the initiation. Men like to put up a facade that they're never vulnerable. Like there's never anything wrong and everyone knows it's bull. That's what Joe Rogan once said to me when I was a guest on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. Joe possesses an astute understanding of masculinity drawing from his diverse experience as an actor, comedian, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, UFC color commentator, and host of #1 podcast on Spotify. No one can be strong all the time, I replied to Joe. When we say this to each other, stay strong, bro. We are subconsciously telling each other that when we feel weak, something's wrong with us. You're not tricking anybody, Joe said. You're posturing. When you're posturing, it's really a weakness. There's more strength than just being who you are. And just because you have vulnerable moments, or just because you're emotional, or just because you're sad doesn't mean you're weak. I paused. Who are we? Really, I asked him. I pose the same question to men reading this right now. Who are you, really? From the moment we take our first breaths, we arrive as exuberant, carefree boys, radiating joy and authenticity. Yet, our culture molds us over time into less expensive versions of ourselves. Males hemmed in by the rigid notion of manhood. As a result, our humanity bows at the altar of masculinity, leaving minimum space for genuine transparency and no room for those lighthearted boys. As we grow, oftentimes our ventings are dismissed as complaints, expressions of pains are labeled as weakness, fatigue is mislabeled as laziness, resistance is denounced and rebellion, and hesitation is branded as being double-minded. When tears flow, we're called soft, teaching us from a very early age to bottle our anguish and show either indifference or strength towards whatever stresses and depresses us. As the pressure causes us to suffer in silence, we stop seeking our purpose in life and start pursuing unhealthy and dangerous outlets of release instead, or we simply give up. You're tired of being the bad guy when you're a good man. You're tired of being misunderstood. You're tired of feeling like a failure as a father, husband, and son. You're tired of having to be strong for everyone. Maybe you're tired of struggling with the same issues again and again. You've lost hope, and in some cases there may seem to only be one thing left to do. But trust me, my friend, you weren't born to kill yourself or to commit the less noticeable suicide of your heart. You're not alone. If you are like most men, I've known at some point you struggle with feeling confused. Over my decades of working with men of all ages, I have learned this. Confusions exist when you don't know why you exist. This confusion reminds me of the film Wanted, directed by Tamir. I do not know how to pronounce the last name. In the movie, we meet Wesley, portrayed by James, an office worker leading an unfulfilled life. After his father's tragic death, he is recruited by Fox to be part of an ancient secret society of assassins called the Fraternity. On Wesley's first day of training, Fox repeatedly demands to know why he is there. Clearly perturbed, Wesley responds sarcastically, "I don't know, so hit me." Fox complies, delivering a jarring backslap, then striking Wesley 3 times with her knee and kicking him once in the sternum. Fox even strikes Wesley's jaw with brass knuckles, causing blood to gush from his mouth. She then grabs him by the arm, knees him again, and asks once more, "Why are you here?" In obvious pain, Wesley responds, "I don't know why I am here." Fox clenches Wesley's hair and violently snatches his head back, repeating the question with even more passion. "Why are you here?" This time, Wesley doesn't respond. Fox strikes him again with a brass knuckle blow to the body. Finally, hunched over with a heavy emotional cry, Wesley yells, "I don't know who I am. Fox flips him over onto his back, drops to one knee beside him, and asks sternly, "What did you say?" With voice trembling and tears welling, Wesley looks up and repeats, "I said, I don't know who I am." The pain Wesley feels goes deeper than Fox's physical assault. In fact, I would suggest that his deeper inner pain is what hurts him more than anything. Maybe you have felt pain. Maybe you have felt that pain. If you haven't or don't like, you are allowed to admit it. I guarantee you know someone who has felt the depths of this despair. For example, one of my close friends who is a retired police officer once called me with a deep sense of concern. Out of nowhere, he had been engulfed by an intense surge of anger. The grip on his steering wheel had become so fierce that his fingernails left imprints on his palms. On the surface, my friend is the embodiment of joviality, the happiest person you could ever meet. But beneath his smile was a man grappling with post-traumatic distress disorder, PTSD. The weight of his life circumstances would have overwhelmed the average individual. He told me about an incident where he had broken down crying in front of his wife. At first for him, "What's wrong, babe?" she asked him. His response is all too familiar for men. "I'm tired." When men say we're tired, it typically doesn't mean we need sleep. It means we won't rest. There's a major difference between the two. Sleep is an unconscious state that provides physical and mental relaxation. Rest is a conscious state of freedom from anything that wearies the soul. My friend proceeded to confide in his wife about his battle with PTSD. I confess, I felt a surge of encouragement when he told me I had been urging him to acknowledge his PTSD for years. But this story is not unique. In my experience, most men are fatigued by their inner battle. This solo struggle is truly a weariness of our souls. Regrettably, the true weight of "I'm tired" often elude many friends and family members until it's too late. I once saw a wife's comment on one of my videos that remains etched in my mind. When a strong man says he's tired, believe him. I wish I had truly understood the depth of those words before I found myself burying my husband. The root of the exhaustion. Emotional instability is at the root of most men's common struggles, creating their weariness of spirit. Throughout the annals of human history, this struggle has resulted in some of the most insidious crimes and senseless wars. Today, 90% of individuals who commit violent physical assault are men. In the United States, the suicide rate for men is 3.5 times that of women. What else could we expect when the most commendable human traits such as caring, compassion, and empathy have been systematically suppressed in men's hearts by the time that they reach their early teens? I firmly believe that these behaviors stem from what I call emotional incarceration, a self-imposed mental imprisonment where men lock away their allegedly unmasculine emotions and isolate their hearts from the world. Consider the trend of wearing saggy pants, a style ironically born in the United States prison system where the belts were prohibited. This serves as a poignant example, POIGANT example. While many viewed it as a blatant rebellion and obscenity, I saw the sagging pants as a reflection of sagging souls, an external manifestation of hearts deprived of hope. Unfortunately, this interpretation was not widely shared among teachers, mentors, parents, and pastors. Consequently, these young men were admonished both privately and publicly, which only inflamed their defensiveness and anger. Already burdened by societal expectations of what it means to be a man and lacking safe spaces for transparency, these young men further suppress their emotions and authenticity. This oppression does not merely hide their true feelings. It actively impedes their emotional stability and personal development. Another physical manifestation of this inward condition is wearing hooded sweatshirts indoors. After the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, NBA stars like Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony publicly expressed their grief while wearing a hoodie inside. Few people know that the hood was first added to sweatshirts in 1934 by Champion to protect athletes and laborers from the elements. Throughout my 20 years of mentoring, I have often noticed boys using the hooded sweatshirts as a shield to protect themselves from the elements of life and internal struggles such as depression, abandonment, and shame. In these moments, I refer to the hoodie as a portable cave. When I speak at youth events, I often observe boys slouching in the chairs with their hoods pulled over their face. With a compassionate tone, I come alongside them to let them know that their choice to wear a hoodie indoors may be a way of coping with inner pain. They often respond by sitting up and gradually removing their hoods, revealing a willingness to confront their emotions. How many men today wear portable caves? How many men today wear portable caves, trying to hide away from our pain and take refuge from the world? Do not feel ashamed if you are one of these men. I too once concealed my true self. I know the way out and I am here to help you. I created Emotional Stability Training, EST, in 2010. EST is a comprehensive system for males that weans the soul, the emotional seat of man, and renews the mind, empowering males to maintain self-control. EST effectively addresses the underlying causes of unresolved anger, anxiety, lack of focus, and fears. Its core focus is to empower boys and men to engage in introspection, courageously confront and overcome emotions, and effectively communicate their feelings with composure. While it is widely believed that mind governs the body, the soul serves as the seat of our emotions, often asserting its influence over the message conveyed by the mind. How many intellectual gifted men found themselves in prison because they couldn't control their emotions in a moment of heated passion or rage? When men are conditioned to suppress or neglect a wide range of emotions, managing masculine ones become even greater. When men are conditioned to support or neglect a wide range of emotions, managing masculine ones become an even greater struggle. It may help to think about our struggle by comparing our emotions to crayons. A small box of 8 crayons represents the restricted range of the emotions men are allowed themselves to express, while a larger box of 64 crayons symbolizes the full spectrum of the emotions we all possess. When a woman requests a violent emotion, for example, and all we have is a basic purple emotion in our box, we struggle to respond in a way that meets the moment. There are moments that call for more nuanced emotions, but if we limit ourselves to those 8, we can communicate only a limited range, especially when it comes to relating to women. Men, that is why we must understand why we fear being courageously transparent. We need to expand our emotional we need to expand our emotional repertoire, like adding more colors to our crayon box. The truth is that all emotions were divinely created for all humans, transcending genders, boundaries. We should focus on embracing the richness of all emotions without being restricted by two objectives, masculine and feminine. Dang, bro. This is my first time reading outside of the Bible in a long time, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man.